Every 10 years, we count ourselves. Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution says we have to. And last year, when we did our count, we found that since the last time we counted, Texas had grown. Texas had grown by 4 million people. My, how you've grown. The population growth in Texas almost entirely due to the growth of the Hispanic population there. Now, the reason the Constitution says we have to count ourselves every 10 years is to determine how to distribute seats in Congress. So while a little state like Vermont only has enough population to give them 1 seat in the House of Representatives for the whole state, Texas right now has 32 people in Congress. And because Texas's population was found to have grown so much in the last census, Texas is now slated to get 4 more congressional seats. Thank you very much. Thank you. Specifically, Texas Hispanic influx. Here's the thing, though. Even though Hispanics in Texas tend to tilt pretty strongly Democratic, right now, Texas state government is dominated by Republicans, and the heavily Republican-dominated Texas legislature has decided that even though the state got its 4 new congressional seats, mostly because of Hispanic population growth, the Republicans in the legislature decided that they would draw their 4 new congressional districts in a way that would almost assuredly send 4 more Republicans to Washington, D.C. Well, last week, a 3-judge panel of a federal court in D.C., 2 of the 3 judges, incidentally, were George W. Bush appointees. That 3-judge panel ruled that the Texas legislature used an improper standard to determine which districts afford minority voters the ability to elect their preferred candidates of choice. This is not the first time that redistricting has been an issue in Texas. After all, partisan redistricting in Texas is part of what brought us this timeless mugshot, of former Republican House Majority Leader Tom DeLay. Delighted to be here. But after the courts essentially said that they would take over the process in Texas now because the Texas legislature couldn't stop illegally politicizing it, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram newspaper editorialized that Texas really needs an independent, nonpartisan body to do this work, to draw its congressional lines. Just take politics out of it. Let it be a technocratic thing. Bring some objectivity into the process. You know who already has that? Arizona. Arizona, in its wisdom, formed itself an independent redistricting commission a decade ago so as to avoid Texas-style partisan embarrassment. Hi, Tom! On the subject. Now, earlier this month, as their independent commission was finishing up their work on a draft for a congressional district map for 2012, Arizona's Republican Governor Jan Brewer decided that she was going to remove the head of the commission. So much for independent, right? Governor Brewer accused the commission chair of gross misconduct. And with a 2/3 vote, a party line vote from the Republican majority in the Arizona State Senate, Governor Brewer removed the chair of the commission from her post. Now, even though this is an independent commission that's supposed to act outside partisan politics, the governor does have a right to remove a commissioner, but only if that commissioner has substantially neglected his or her duties or is found guilty of gross misconduct. Now, had the commissioner done something that could be construed as gross misconduct? What had she done that was so awful? The governor has had a hard time trying to explain that.
What did Colleen do that was inappropriate, Colleen Mathis says?
Well, she acted inappropriately. She was doing, it was pretty much obvious that she was in communications and doing things not in the public, and the people of Arizona deserve that.
It keeps going, actually. Go on.
I'm trying to understand what she did, though. What are you accusing her of having done?
Well, she wasn't operating in the proper manner according to the law. And
in what way, though? What did she do? What didn't she do? In what way? For the law, for example, says she has to do something egregious, terribly egregious. What was the egregious thing that she did?
Well, I wish I had my letter here so that I could, read from it.
It was such gross misconduct, I can't remember it without my letter. Where's my letter? Governor Brewer had a hard time convincing Alan Colmes there of what exactly this commissioner had done that was so egregious, so awful that she had to be forcibly removed from office, even though it's supposedly an independent commission. Well, now Governor Brewer has also failed to convince the Arizona Supreme Court. The commission chair, whose name is Colleen Mathis, fought her removal in court. And yesterday, the Supreme Court in Arizona ruled that the governor had, in fact, failed to show that this commissioner was guilty of any gross misconduct. They ordered that Ms. Mathis, in fact, be reinstated to her position.
This court doesn't live in a cocoon. It lives in the real world. it must not ignore the motivations behind the partisan political conduct in question. Without an order of this court reinstating Colleen Mathis to her lawful, rightful position, the Independent Redistricting Commission becomes a joke.
Joining us now is Linda McNulty. She is one of the 5 commissioners on Arizona's Independent Redistricting Commission. Ms. McNulty, thanks very much for your time tonight. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let me ask you first if I accurately summarized the situation that brought us here today. Is that a fair description, aside from the pot shots at Tom DeLay, of what's brought us to this point in Arizona?
It was a very good summary, yes.
Okay. What is your reaction to today's ruling from the Arizona Supreme Court? This is a real clash of the titans here between the independence of the commission that you serve on and the governor's very strong will, apparently, to exert pressure over you.
It is indeed. I think the ruling yesterday was a major win for the citizens of Arizona who, as you explained, voted overwhelmingly to create this commission in the year 2000. And the purpose of the commission was to remove the process of drawing the state legislative and congressional districts from self-interested politicians and put it in the hands of a group of balanced citizen volunteers who would draw fair and competitive districts for the state. What the court struck down yesterday was a blatant attempt by the governor and incumbent politicians to tell this commission to draw the maps to their liking or else. The commission ruled yesterday that the court ruled yesterday that the commission is and in fact will remain independent from influence by the governor and the legislature.
The commission is made up of the independent chair, who's the person who has been reinstated by the court as of today, 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. You are one of the Democrats who serves on the board. And when the governor went after the commission, she did get the Senate to remove the independent chair of the board. She also tried to remove you and the other Democratic commissioner from the board. Do you fear that she will try to do that again, that she will come back after either you alone or all 3 of you again?
The governor has made it clear that she's keeping her options open. I think that the governor and the legislature have been so out of step with the citizens of Arizona, whose response to this abuse of power has been an overwhelming condemnation, that it's possible that they will continue to ignore the will of the voters and the citizens. But we want to get back to work. We have our chairman back. Colleen Mathis is a woman of the highest integrity. Her reputation was vindicated yesterday by the Supreme Court. And we want to get together again and begin to finish the work that we started, which is to draw fair and competitive districts for the state.
Linda McNulty, one of the commissioners on Arizona's Independent Redistricting Commission. I know this has been a trying and contentious time, but thanks for your service to your state and thanks for making time to talk with us tonight. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.